the original, di mo to inakala. Lalaki nung matas hanggang ngayon matibay na. Pagmamahal sa boxing, basketball at iba parang dun sa puso. Di kaya itanggi, kita mo na araw-araw walang pahinga. Balita laging dala kahit minsan may nasasaktan katotohanan. Wika, open-minded, hanggang tanggapin ang bash at hate. Para basagin ang fake, di kayang makitata sa truth, mate. Here comes the boom boom pow, hey Powcast. Pow, totohanan di basta-basta. Sports, balita, opinion, interviews and vlogs. Nag-iisang original, malakas di mo ma-unplug. Wala umaangas kahit gaano kakasikat. Pag sipaw ang sumalat, alam mo na kung katapat. Papapawang ang nagturo mag-vlog ng totoo. Kahit ikaw nakikinig dito, mano ka kay lolo. Pinatibay ng panahon, sinubukang patumpahin. Pero iba ang tibay kapag katotohanan. Kapilang kaya magsama-sama kaysa mag-away-away. Minsan asaran mo malang walang personalan. Ready ka ba? Here comes the boom boom pow, hey Powcast. Ang pow, totohanan di basta-basta. Sports, balita, opinion, interviews and vlogs. Nag-iisang original, malakas di mo ma-unplug. Wait, halimutan ng bashers. Malaki ang mundo, fans worldwide, walang pressure. You didn't expect this, but Powcast, here we rise. Philippine pride, but we're reaching beyond the skies. Representing the flag, sports from Pinoy to Viet. Headed to Vegas, maybe Dubai, don't forget that. Powcast is global, interviews across seas. Athletes worldwide, making hits with these. We've come so far, and we're here to stay. Hate or like me, it's impossible to look away. Get your head straight, cause I don't back down. From debates or truth, I'll take your crown. I won't hit below the belt, but here's a clue. The knockout's coming and it's gonna hurt you. Here comes the boom boom pow, hey Powcast. Ang pow, ang totohanan di basta-basta. Sports, balita, opinion, interviews and vlogs. Nag-iisang original. Peace, Powcast Sports. If you're new here, subscribe. Hit that notification bell, enjoy the vibe. Boom, 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 can't get enough of this guy. Every day, every night, it's Pow salute, no lie. My day ain't complete till he's spitting the facts. When I wake up, it's boom, afternoons, it's on track. At night before bed, it's Pow once again. This obsession's real, running deep in my vein. It's my daily routine, motivation so clean. Entertainment and learning together, they're lean. Oh yeah, I love it, damn, give me more. Can't stop, I'm hooked, it's Pow at the door. Even the haters, man, they tune in, still saying they're done, but they're locked in for real. Flipping the script, you can throw the mic down, but deep inside you know you ain't leaving this town. Oh shit, I'm having a blast. Every episode's better than the last. Here comes the boom boom pow, hey Powcast. Show Pow, you're the best, always first, never last. Sports news, opinions, interviews and vlogs. The one and only strong, you can unsubscribe from the logs. Last na bago ka mo hilak, para sa ako mga Bisaya. Mahal ko ka, mabistak ko man. Gani ang tinuod nga istorya, dako ang respeto. Bisa pangutanan, palimo akong asawa. Kapiman ang gurma, pero di ka sa pakibato. Para sa tinuod sa akong paghigurma sa sports. Suportado ang mga bistak ng boxers. Wala laing kontra, laging saludo, lagi na kong respeto. Ang dala, pero kung isa kang buang test ay napaguna. Masakit ang kakay, dilingin mo mapangga. Here comes the boom boom pow, hey Powcast. Mura bagyo ko sa kaayo, dili mo matataan. Sports, balita, opinion, interviews or vlogs. Nag-iisang original, malakas di mo matabaw. Digit mo ay subscribe. Kapoy ayat siguro, pero dili kapoy ang kinabuhi. Kung magsunod ka sa tinuod na unod sa akong Bisaya nga istorya. Lagi ang respetado, ang matinuod nga nakigarong mga Bisaya nga boxers. Walang problema, kay muda o gihapon. Laging andang para sa laban, walang bakat na dalgon. Pero kung ikaw muragado, unsa pa man ang buhaton. Ang imong kinagbuhi, mahinuusap, matubak ka sa imong kaugalingon. Here comes the boom boom pow, hey Powcast. Mura bagyo usok kaayo, dili mo matataan. Sports, balita, opinion, interviews o vlogs. Nag-iisang original, malakas din mo matatawag. Bigyan maong subscribe. Tama na ang toxic, tigilan ng away. Magkaisa tayo, itaguyod sabay-sabay. Itaas ang bandera ng Pilipinas, isigaw. Filipino ako, Powcast ang hiyaw. Channel ng tunay, sa sports di magpapahuli. Para sa Pinoy fans, walang kapantay na sarili. Ang show ay masisimula na kaya mag-like. Share mo na rin at huwag kalimutang mag-subscribe. Kahit magkasalungat tayo, di magkaintindihan. Okay lang mag-debate kahit magkasamaan. Rambulan man ang labas, asahan sa dulo. Magkaibigan pa rin, yan ang panintunan ko. Kaya huwag kang asatalo kung ready ka na. Ako'y handa na rin, tara na halika. Here comes the boom boom pow. Pow, salute of Powcast Sports. Salute of Powcast Sports. Salute, salute. Pagpapinoon may katapa. Salute, salute. Pagpapinoon may katapa. subscribe, hit that notification bell and join the vibe. I'm a pro, top story, iloko na sundura. Pag ikaw nakikinig, ito makapakilala.
Powcast Sports. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. All right. Good morning, each and everyone. My name is Pau Salute, and welcome to our Sunday edition of the Powcast Sports Podcast. Usually every Sunday morning, this is where we do our boxing commentary. But today, it's gonna be a little bit different. We're not gonna be doing any boxing commentary right now. Actually, this would be maybe an hour or less live. So I just wanted to actually discuss to you the fights and give you my reaction on the Anthony Joshua fight, which earlier today I didn't watch the fight. However, when I woke up, yeah, a lot of my friends and of course my Facebook timeline has been filled with the photos and video of Anthony Joshua getting knocked out by Daniel Dubois, which came as a shock to me. I was a little bit surprised that Joshua won, and you know me, I like to read, and every most of the analysts and most of the prediction, even Riyadh season themselves and the promoters are promoting Anthony Joshua, and Anthony Joshua actually had a plan to fight for unifying the belts, but that is now all gone into trash. So we're gonna be talking about that real quick. The other main topic that I got is the Melvin Jerusalem and Luis Flechita Castillo fight that's gonna be gonna be happening later on tonight at 7 p.m. and gonna be available on ESPN Knockout. By the way, you can watch the fight for free in Mandaluyong City, the Philippines. So, and I'm doing this in English. So last night we already talked about this in Filipino, but for this morning, I will be speaking about the keys to win in English, so that our Mexican friends. Unfortunately I couldn't speak in Spanish, so trying my best to speak in English so that you can understand the point of view of a Filipino blogger about the Mexican versus Filipino World Championship fight that's gonna be happening later. So, good morning to all of you guys, and hope you are having a great Sunday morning. Like what I said, no commentary today. Probably around before 12 o'clock, I'm already going to be preparing to go to the event of Melvin Jerusalem. It will be a good fight card because there's going to be a lot of Filipinos or fights that's happening on that card. We'll discuss that in a while. So, I usually do this on my usual show, which is basically my Filipino or Taglish show, because I myself couldn't speak in pure Tagalog or pure Filipino. Most of us Filipino speaks now in Taglish, so it's a shame, but that's the fact. I got some messages saying that, hey, we understand you, not everything. I've decided every morning I'll be doing an English show, and I know most of my followers that are from the Philippines do understand my English, so that's why we're doing an English show right now. Plus, we're gonna be reacting on an international fight. Yes, so let's go ahead and do a shout out first to everyone that's on the comment section. Please comment where you are from. I do that every time in my local show, so please comment right now. I'll be waiting. And those that are asking, today is September 22. It's 9:31 a.m. Manila time. So Manila time, and like what I said, Anthony Joshua and Daniel Dubois reaction is what we're gonna be doing right now. In the US, usually that's the reason why we have commentary every Sunday morning, because in the US it's Saturday night, and there's big fights on a Saturday night. But this Saturday night in the US, there's none because of the Daniel Dubois fight that happened. Actually, that fight didn't happen in the US. That's why earlier when we woke up, we already have the news that happened in London. So there you go, guys. Let me give some shout outs to my friends that are watching. Much less Bogels, how are you? Motorman, thank you so much. Gilbert Payas, Navi Kidlat, Motorman, just Tony Brooks, how are you doing? Dave Villavicencio, Yes, the Motorman again, just Tony, Brain Garcia, Pororoy, Sumbag TV. How are you doing, sir? Motorman. And all right, here we go. Let's talk about my reaction on the Anthony Joshua fight. And this fight, actually, this came to me as a surprise. I wasn't expecting Anthony Joshua to lose here, especially as the promoters already have plans. And initially, I thought this that the knockout, because I just saw initially the one final knockout. I was thinking maybe Joshua was ahead, and he was just countered by Daniel Dubois, and that was just luck for Daniel Dubois. But I was dead wrong. I read up and watched the full highlights of the fight. Apparently, and the knockouts was shocking to me, but the performances of Dubois was more. Maybe let me change it a bit. The performance of Joshua was the shocking one to me. But although even before the fight, people talking about Joshua having a glass chin because he has been knocked out and he's been defeated a number of times. Let me just put a background a little bit so that it's not so quiet. So it came to me as a surprise because when I watched the highlights, man, Anthony Joshua was down 4 times. I don't know if you know, Anthony Joshua was down 4 times in that fight, and the knockdowns, those were not even flash knockdowns. It truly hurt Anthony Joshua, and I truly see Anthony Joshua struggling, and he couldn't get back. He tried to get back. It's pride. I mean, he's the favorite in that fight, but he was down once in the first round. And if you get knocked down in the first round, those that knows me here, if you get knocked down in the first round, that's already not a very good sign. There's always, I've always said this on my blog. Now, boxers can punch hard, but it's the one that's also important is if you can receive a hard punch. And unfortunately, Anthony Joshua, it looks like he has a problem. I mean, when he got knocked down by Andy Ruiz, that's already not a good sign. But Andy Ruiz is of course a knockout fighter. Anyway, going back to the story, he was down once in the first round, another one in the third round, and in the fourth round he was down again, and finally in the fifth round when he was counted out, he couldn't get up. There's just no way, and there's no reason for. I mean, you couldn't think of an excuse for this one. It was just Daniel Dubois was the better fighter, the harder puncher, and man, he is fighting like the prime Mike Tyson on that fight. And I heard the commentator say that because he was hurting Anthony Joshua. It's different to outbox your opponent, and it's also something else if you can outbox and hurt your opponent. So Daniel Dubois was able to do that again 4 times. And if you get knocked down the first round by this big guys heavyweight, I mean, in the heavyweight division, I always feel that regardless of how good of a boxer you are, if you get hit first, then you're in trouble. Anthony Joshua got hit first and got hurt first, and he couldn't recover from that, even if he wanted to. I mean, he tried his best, but I think it's also it's all pride, and also I've watched Terence Crawford reaction, and I totally agree with Terence Crawford when he said Anthony Joshua forgot the basics. Anthony Joshua forgot the basic where he was trying to attack. He was trying to make a statement that he's still in the fight. Unfortunately, when he tries to attack, he's forgetting about his defense. I mean, for a guy that has been knocked down thrice already in the fight, and you know that you can be hurt by Dubois, he came in there and got countered. That ended the fight in the fifth round. So I mean, obviously, from that itself, Anthony Joshua forgot the basic of defense, and that's why he got caught. And Daniel Dubois was truly amazing in that fight. I mean, he was composed, he was attacking, but he didn't really go overboard with the attacks. And Anthony Joshua got caught. So the reason why Anthony Joshua lost this one is because of himself as well. He was the heavy favorite on this one. I think a lot of people were shocked after the interview. Um, the commentator and or the interviewer was saying that no one or not a lot of people predicted this fight. So again, heavyweight, you get hit first, you get hurt first, then you're already in a disadvantage because this is not the smaller guys. So Anthony Joshua, the next question is, can he still fight again? Obviously, the answer to that question is yes, but can he go back to the level that he wanted to? So looking at his career, let's talk about Anthony Joshua first before we talk about Daniel Dubois. Anyway, shout out guys. Shout out to Jamie, to Entrapman. Thank you so much. Bake, Carlo Jan. Yes, I'll be in Mandaluyong later to watch the fight. I'm doing this in English, but I'm sure you do understand. 113 viewers. And if there's anyone outside the Philippines watching this, please let me know. I'd like to know if because the purpose of this one is so that our international viewers can understand it, us, and can also communicate with us on an international topic or boxing topic that also relates the international boxing audience. So I'm trying my best to do that. So I'm not gonna go live on the Jerusalem versus the Castillo fight later. It will be watched or it will be available on ESPN Knockouts. Let's talk about Anthony Joshua. Thank you guys for supporting me on this endeavors that I'm doing. Every morning I'll be doing an English show. Unfortunately, those that are asking about my basketball content commentary, I couldn't do the PBA live. I get bored sometimes. It's different with boxing. So anyway, 28 wins and 4 defeats already, and 2 knockouts for Anthony Joshua. That's his record, and he is already 34 years old. So 34 years old. Actually, most boxers, most elite boxers, 34 years old. It's not old. But if you look at the defeats of Anthony Joshua, I mean, even with Francis Ngannou, he had some issue there. And who's Francis Ngannou is a boxer. I mean, he's a great fighter and an MMA fighter. But anyway, Daniel Dubois, Alexander Usyk, twice he got defeated by Usyk twice. Anthony Joshua, and of course Andy Ruiz. So those are big fights. I mean, Joshua has fought big names and he won, but so this is gonna put kind of I wouldn't say stain, but again, question it if he's one of the best heavyweight out there. So, but I mean, that's a great record. Anthony Joshua could maybe fight another tuna fight first. But to truly be great in the heavyweight, I mean, there are only few names that you need to defeat in order to be a great fighter. And Dubois isn't actually even one of them. At least not yet until this fight. So, the criticism on Anthony Joshua was well, I wouldn't say. I mean, some people are saying glass chin, but we've seen him hurt in the heavyweight division. Not only should punch hard, but you should know how to receive one, and he didn't know on this fight. 4 times knockdown. Daniel Dubois. Let's talk about Daniel Dubois. Man, what a fight for Daniel Dubois. Daniel Dubois. If we're talking about a fighter who stepped up and actually surprised everyone, Matchroom is happy with this one because it's Eddie Hearn versus Blue Bear. Not Matchroom. Matchroom is is with Anthony Joshua. What's the name of the guy again? Um, Barry. Queensberry Promotions. Queensberry Promotions very happy with this one because he's the one handling Daniel Dubois, who's only 27 years old. The Dynamite. We know he's the Dynamite because we know that he has power in those hands. He has 21 knockouts out of 22 wins now, and he showcased that against Anthony Joshua. Looking at the fights, the last few fights of Daniel Dubois. Actually, all of the fights of Daniel Dubois didn't went the distance, except for just one because out of the 22 wins, 21 knockouts. So we know that he's a puncher. And so, could this be a case of wrong matchups for Matchroom? Maybe, maybe not. But let me tell you why. This is Riyadh season fight card. And, I would like to commend Riyadh season, a little Sheikh, for doing this. A little Sheikh actually is helping boxing get the fights that we wanted to see. It's like blow by blow in the Philippines. Like, there's no favorite. Like, he's gonna get the boxer that's great in these promotions, and a boxer that's great in this promotion, and he's gonna let them fight. And this is the same. This is the case for this one. He's been trying to make boxing happen, the real fight that fans wants to see happen. And if that's the case, then we will always see an upset like this. If it's I think, and I may be wrong, if it's Eddie Hearn that's doing the promotions alone on this one, and not Riyadh season helping with the event, then Daniel Dubois may not be a good opponent because of his power punching and because of the way Anthony Joshua lost in the past. So there you go. That's my opinion on this one. Daniel Dubois. The next for this guy is probably a rematch with Anthony Joshua, as they've said in the post press conference. But if I'm Anthony Joshua, if I'm Eddie Hearn, I wouldn't want to go directly to a rematch because I don't think that Anthony Joshua could beat Dubois right away. That's just my opinion. I don't know if you agree with me. I don't think Anthony Joshua could beat Daniel Dubois right away in a rematch. Maybe get an activity fight, and then maybe go back to Daniel Dubois and see what happens on that activity fight, just to get his momentum and his mentality up that he's still a good fighter. Which he is. I mean, once you're a good fighter, you're a good fighter. I mean, it's just the mentality most of the time that change. And of course, you slow down a bit depending on your age, and and that happens. That's normal. So I think Anthony Joshua, although it was mentioned on the post-fight press conference that he has the rights for an immediate rematch, I don't recommend that. All right, but for Daniel Dubois, the IBF champion, he should. I would like to see him fight Alexander Usyk. Alexander Usyk and Daniel Dubois is gonna be a great fight. He lost to Alexander Usyk, of course, by a KO. So, but I'd like to see that fight again. Because right now there's really no one else that's good. So Dubois has a reason to fight Usyk because he lost to Usyk. So there you go. Alexander Usyk, however, needs to first take care of business with Tyson Fury in December. That will be a great fight. That will be that's also gonna be an awesome fight. Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk. If Usyk wins that one, then Dubois should fight Usyk. If Fury wins that one, then of course Tyson Fury. That's the big fight that we wanted to see. All right, let's now go to the comment section. If you have any questions about um, the Dubois versus Anthony Joshua fight, now it's the time. And then after this, we'll talk about the Melvin Jerusalem thoughts, and final prediction, final thoughts, and keys to wins in English. If you want to go ahead and listen to the Filipino version of the keys to win, I did it last night. All right. So, by the way, while we're waiting for the questions about Joshua before we go into the Melvin Jerusalem versus the Castillo fight, I would like to go ahead and let you know about the results of the fight of that event. Before that, a day or a few hours before that, just wanted to again congratulate and shout out the two Filipinos that won on the Munguia fight. Munguia won as well in the US, but Charlie Suarez made a statement yesterday against Castañeda by knocking him out, technical knockout in the third round. So Charlie Suarez, like what I said, deserves that title shot again against the champions in the WBO, Navarrete, or the IBF champions. And of course, Demler Zamora, who actually debuted at the top rank. So he won by a unanimous decision. But on the fight card of Daniel Dubois and Anthony Joshua, Boatsi won by a split decision against Willie Hutchinson. Anthony Kakase won against, I don't know how to pronounce that, sorry, Josh Warrington, defeated Josh Warrington by a unanimous decision. Josh Kelly defeated Ismail Davis by a majority decision. Hanza Shiraz won against Tyler Denny by a TKO. And Mark Chamberlain was defeated by Josh Padley by a unanimous decision. So, any question about Dubois before we move on? Or comments about Dubois? Enter, but Dubois is the new face of UK boxing. Because it was Anthony Joshua, right? So, there you go. Dubois Rob against Usyk, clean body shot. Yeah, you can say that. Yeah, but that's why it'd be interesting to see them fight again. All right, let's talk about the Melvin Jerusalem fight. Can we talk about the Melvin Jerusalem fight? Maybe show the. Let me tell you first what to expect at the Melvin Jerusalem fight. So again, guys, let me ask you again your final prediction and thoughts. And hola, señorita, señor, Mexico. Anyone watching from Mexico? Muy poquito español, so I'll do English. But there'll be a lot of fights later, starting at 1 p.m. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 fights later at the blow-by-blow fight in Mandaluyong City College of Science and Technology in Mandaluyong City, the Philippines. That's 15 fights, and that's going to start at 1 p.m. Actually, as of the moment, I believe if you go to Mandaluyong City, there'll be an amateur fight. So I think that amateur fight is headed by Mig Elorde. So shout out and good luck to Sir Mig Elorde. I think he's doing the amateur fights there. So maybe in the future we could collaborate on the amateur first. Anyway, let's talk about Melvin Jerusalem. It's 15 fights. There's a lot. There's Japanese fighting, and of course the return of Jerwin Ancajas. So let me just say a little bit about Jerwin Ancajas. Jerwin Ancajas is fighting in the featherweight division against Supraserd Ponpitak. So on my interview with Jerwin Ancajas, he mentioned that he's just trying out the featherweight division 126, but they plan to move back to 122. So this is a comeback fight, so it's okay. Boxers usually, if people doesn't know, especially in the Philippines, sometimes we go fight above and below our regular weight, but it looks like, according to Jerwin Ancajas, that's gonna be fighting really in the 122 pounds. There's a lot of boxing prospects that's going to be fighting on that card. And if it's blow by blow, even though they're new fighters, I'm telling you this, right now, blow by blow matching are one of the best matching in the Philippines. You get to see, real matchup and an equal matching. So, that's something that you could quote me on that. blow by blow match are a great matchup. They're not favoring anyone, and you'll certainly enjoy. Obviously, that's based on record. Sometimes we do like see like one fighter dominating the other, but at least on papers and from what we know, these are great fight and matchups. So I'm inviting each and everyone, all the Filipinos that are watching this one, especially if you're in Mandaluyong, please go to the Mandaluyong City College of Science and Technology in Mandaluyong City. The fight starts at 1 p.m. The main event and Jerusalem fight will definitely start at 7 p.m. because it will be shown on ESPN Knockout worldwide, I believe, or in Latin countries. That's going to be a Spanish coverage. So, it's a sad reality for Filipino. Unfortunately, it's not going to be live in the Philippines. It's going to be taped and going to be showed, I hope, next Sunday after this at One Sports, which is the official media broadcast partner of Blow by Blow. So we're there. We're going to be watching. We're going to be taking some videos, and we're going to let you know right away of the result, and maybe put in some highlight clips for that one. Nonetheless, that's the event. So we're done with the Anthony Joshua topic. We're now going to the Melvin Jerusalem fight breakdown and keys to victory. Let me go ahead and just give a big shout out to some of the people that are commenting right now. I'm gonna be answering in English because in the morning I'm trying to practice my English language. But at night, but tonight I'm not sure if I'm gonna do a live because I'm gonna be at the venue. So there's no tickets for later. It's gonna be free. So please go to the event of Melvin Jerusalem. Norsil, I'll be reacting to Casimiro's after the Melvin Jerusalem fight. I want to focus on Melvin Jerusalem. Edsel, nice. You use English. Do it more often, man. I'm gonna try and do it more often in the morning. But at night, I still want to do Taglish or Filipinos at night. So again, it's my fault. I haven't been consistent on this one, but usually in the morning I will go live and pick a couple of topics because I do a lot more. So right now I'm just gonna do 2 lives, one in the morning, one at night, and then whatever good things that I've said here, maybe we can get it to a clip and just repost it. So there you go. There's no live in FB later. If you see a live on FB later, that's illegal. Because according to the promoter, there's no live in the Philippines, but it will be shown on One Sport. I've answered this already. We're sticking to the topic, George Delgado. Thank you very much, George Villegas Delgado. We'll talk about boss. shout out. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, we're doing this we're doing the English in the morning, George Villegas. So maybe so I can also focus on the outside world, not just the local issues. Okay, Melvin Jerusalem and Luis Castillo breakdown in English for our Mexican and international fans. Last night, we talked about this, and there are a lot of insights that I could share to you based on my interviews and based on my observations with the fighters. The first thing that I wanted to see is that this is a must-see fight. And I'm not even gonna talk about first the fighter. I'm just gonna talk about the importance of this fight among Filipino boxing fans. This is the first world title fight in the Philippines this year, and I don't remember. And maybe I would ask later the WBC people, when was the last time we have a WBC world title in the Philippines? Because I do not remember when. Although it's not because because it was a long time ago. Maybe it was. It's because I have problems remembering dates and times. So, but this is basically, it's been a while since WBC has a world championship in the Philippines, and now it's happening. WBC World Minimum Weight. If that doesn't get you to watch it live in Mandaluyong, especially if you're in Manila, that means you're not a boxing fan. A world championship that is for free? No, the world championship that is for free, you should take advantage of that. So that's the first reason. The second is, I think, I think the odds are lying. I think the odds are lying. I'm gonna be fair and honest with you with this one, but don't get me wrong. Of course, obviously, I will always support the Filipino in any fight, especially world championship or especially international fight. And this is one of them. But I will give my fair shake, and I will put my hats off to Luis Castillo and his team because they're very professional and they oblige all of the interviews, and I actually like them too. As a boxing fan, not just a Filipino boxing fan, I respect the opponents when they visit the other country and they're very nice. I'm sure they're not gonna be very nice later when they are inside the ring, especially Luis Flechita Castillo, and I think he has the chance here. But I think the odds are lying. When I say the odds are lying, I'm saying I don't believe Luis Castillo is that much of an underdog. I've seen comments, I've seen some odds that Luis Castillo is a heavy underdog. Like if you bet 1,000, you win 4,000, or you bet 1,000, you win 7,000. That's just too much and a little bit disrespectful to the undefeated boxer, to the taller fighter. You understand where I'm coming from? I mean, Luis Castillo is undefeated for a reason. Again, I'm just saying this to you because that's the fact. Luis Castillo is undefeated for a reason. Yes. Now let me now go into this. So maybe this is why the odds maker are putting Luis Castillo way underdog. Because if you're betting on Jerusalem, your 1,000 would only win maybe 170 or 200 pesos. So it encourages people to bet on Luis Castillo because if you're a real boxer and you look at their stats, you know that Luis Castillo has a chance. And that odds is just, I don't know. I don't think it's right. But who am I, right? I'm just giving my opinion on this. So, Luis Castillo, 21 wins, 0 defeat with 1 draw. All of his fights are in Mexico. All right, so that's one negative, or maybe one on the negative side because he doesn't have experience outside the country. And again, it is on the other side of the country. So maybe, just maybe, jet lag, the time zone difference would affect him. So that's one. And, he just came here within this week. So that's one thing also. Plus, the level of opponent, just think about this. And I really hope there are Mexican watching this one. The level of opponents Luis Castillo is not within the same level of opponents of Melvin Jerusalem. Although Melvin Jerusalem has lost to some of that levels. But, whether you win or you lose, actually you win or you learn, you gain some experience. And that experience will always be a factor. So Luis Castillo doesn't have that good experience yet against top level opponent. Now he's gonna get that against Melvin Jerusalem. So he might win this one, he might lose this one, but he's gonna get it for sure. That's good for him. So that's again a negative on Luis Castillo. So no experience, first time fighting outside of Mexico, first time fighting outside of his time zone. That's another one because it's different when you fight within the US. From Mexico to the US, it's different when I'm from the Philippines and I'm fighting in Japan because I wake up and my body is awake at the same time. So that's two different things. So again, that's from my opinion. So that's another thing. So if you look at this, maybe that's the factor. But for Melvin Jerusalem, who is basically a 2-time world champion already. 2-time world champion in maybe the last 4 years. two-time world champions. He was the WBO world champion back in 2023, and it's 2024, right? So he is a two-time world champion in just 2 years. So that's saying a lot. Of course, there's a positive and negative on this one, but let me tell you exactly how I feel about Melvin Jerusalem. So, of course, the plus on Melvin Jerusalem is this: it's his hometown. It will always be a plus. Whether they're saying it's these type of things are not true, but I know it is. As a boxing fans, hometown is always gonna be an advantage. It's always going to be an advantage for the hometown fighter, and the fighters know this. Okay, I'm not saying that something is happening, but it's going to happen that we're gonna be favored. But hometown is hometown, and if you're a hometown fighter, you fight much more easily. Like you don't have nothing to think about because you know that you're gonna be treated fairly. So Melvin is the hometown fighter. Melvin has more experience than Luis Castillo. Although when I say more experience, I'm not talking about the number of fights. There's a saying, not just in the boxing world, but generally, quality over quantity. It doesn't matter if you win by 100 times, but if your opponents are like not that good, it's nothing. So Melvin Jerusalem, I'm gonna scroll down and let you see the last 6 fight of Melvin Jerusalem. And if you compare the last 6 fight of Melvin Jerusalem, he fought Yuday Shigeoka, Oscar Colazo, Masaka Tanaguchi. Those are 3 hard fights, and he won 2 of them. But for this one, although he looks good against Angel Herrera, Luis Castillo, on paper, these fighters are, at least, because we do not know. We know that the level in Mexico are great. We know that. It's like the same way in the Philippines. I will say this again, for those who haven't caught this saying or this the story of mine. I was talking to an Australian promoter, and he mentioned we get Filipino fighters. I'm not gonna say the name. We get Filipino fighters that has bad records to warm up our Australian fighters or our fighters, but sometimes we're making mistake because we thought they're not that good, but they end up very good, and sometimes they beat our fighters. So sometimes it's not about the record, and I feel the same way with Mexico, and I have great respect for Mexican fighters. As I wouldn't call myself old school, but I grew up watching Manny Pacquiao, and I grew up looking at Mexican fighters as a tough opponent. The times when Manny Pacquiao fought Juan Manuel Marquez, Eric Morales, Marco Antonio Barrera, even the earlier fights, the Solis fight, the Larios fight. I always feel that Mexican fighters is gonna give a good fight regardless of their record. And I always say this: if a Filipino fighters fight the Mexican, regardless of the record, that means he has potential, or he's ready for a banger kind of fight. And this is exactly how I feel about Luis Flechita Castillo. By the way, Flechita from the press con, he said it's a little arrow or fast arrow. I didn't get a chance to actually Google it, but nonetheless, this is gonna be a hard fight. So, but I'm gonna say on paper, Jerusalem has better experience because he beat a caliber fighter, and that's just a fact. Now, that the disadvantage also is because the Melvin Jerusalem is smaller. So Luis Castillo, I don't know if he's gonna be taking advantage of that, but the way Mexican fights, the way Luis Castillo should fight, he should think about attacking, because when a Filipino fights abroad, they always want to try and go for a knockout because they don't want the judges to decide on the winner. And I think it would be the same way for Luis Castillo. Plus his style, he punches a lot, and actually that's gonna be in his favor on the keys to win. So I'm gonna go ahead and let you know first the keys to win. I'm gonna make it as simple as possible, guys. Again, Melvin Jerusalem Luis Castillo fight is gonna be happening tonight at 7 p.m. Manila time. It's gonna be available live on ESPN Knockouts. Unfortunately, local live is not gonna be available, and I'm not gonna go live. But I'm gonna tell you who wins, and I'm gonna give you my reaction afterwards. All right, so there you go. Let me try so I have longer reach than him. I don't know. Okay, Luis Castillo tonight, 7 p.m. Philippine time. Again, tickets is free. Charlie Suarez and Manuel Navarrete, Barn Barner. Yes. Okay, so but again, let's go to the keys to win. Has anyone bet yet? If you haven't and you don't have an app, you just send me a message. I'll introduce you to my partner. But I don't really promote it here. But if you are interested, just send me a message. Then there's an automatic responder frequently asked question in Filipino. All right. So only in the Philippines. That link is only available in the Philippines. So just send me a message. Keys to win this fight. Melvin Jerusalem should be active in this one. He just need. Actually, whoever is more active in this fight actually wins the fight. I think it's gonna go to a decision. Luis Castillo should go for a knockout if you ask me, but Melvin Jerusalem should just basically out hustled, outworked Luis Castillo, and he would be the winner in this one. We just need to be careful. He cannot stay on the outside because, as you can see here, 168 centimeter against 157 centimeter. If he stays on the outside and Luis Castillo just pick his shots with his volume of shots and with the right distance, then Melvin Jerusalem is not gonna. It's gonna be difficult for Melvin Jerusalem to score. So Luis Castillo is probably gonna have a lot of volume and then just stay at his distance, and his distance is longer. So that's an advantage. So Melvin Jerusalem, even if he is the champion in this fight, he's gonna have to go inside, the same way that he did with Chigioka. I think both fighters has the opportunity to knock down their opponents, but I respect both fighters. I think they can be knocked down, but they will get up. I would love to see a knockout, but again, this level, I think this might go to a decision favoring Melvin Jerusalem. If he is more active. It's very simple. That's the only thing that I see here. Whoever outworks the other one wins this one. Both fighters are good boxers. Both fighters are hard punchers. But whoever has the more volume, I think wins. That is what I see in the look of Luis Castillo and Melvin Jerusalem. Someone has asked me, one of my followers asked me about who do you think is gonna win. And it's just, can Melvin, who's the heavy favorite in this one, really win this one? And is Luis Castillo that good? I told him he's good. I think he's good, but let's wait on the weigh-in. So weigh-in is done. I saw them personally. Luis Castillo actually looks good on the weigh-in. Then likewise with Melvin Jerusalem. So that's why I feel that they're both ready for the fight. I feel that this is a must-watch. You know, I'm not the promoter, but it sounded like I'm the promoter promoting this fight for you to be really interested, because you should be really interested in this fight, because this is gonna be a great World Championship fight. Aside from the undercards, that's there's gonna be a lot of fights. The main event at 7 p.m. live, free at Mandaluyong City College, will be a history in the making fight, and you should watch it. This goes both way. At the end of the day, Melvin Jerusalem still is the favorite, and rightfully so. And again, just be more active, and whoever is more active and can outwork the others will win the fight. Of course, my man Melvin Jerusalem, I'm betting on him to win the fight. So that's my opinion on this one. But Luis Castillo, I know he's gonna do his best, and if he wins this one, I mean, by the way, the translator and also the guy from ESPN Knockout and Boxsters I spoken with after, because I wanted to get the insight really from a Mexican about this fight, and he mentioned that, and this is actually kind of scary for Filipinos fans. He mentioned that Boxstars is a new promotions in Mexico. You should check it out. And in 3 years, and I would not forget, in 3 years they have 7 world champions. I haven't verified that, but I'm gonna trust his words. 7 world champions, and this will be 8. And he said that it's an elite. Of course, they're gonna say that because it's from Mexico. I'll say the same thing, but it's for us to see and watch now who's really gonna win. So, yun guys. Well, I spoke in Tagalog, but I've been speaking in English all throughout. I slipped. Anyway, that is my keys to win. It's very simple. Very simple. A knockdown could happen, but I think they're gonna get up. Who's ever outwork the other would win the fight. So, wow, 1 minute, 1 hour, exactly my target. I'm gonna be doing a few things, but let me now go to the comment section, guys. Powcast Sports, only MJ will only be the first WBC title fight here in the Philippines. Not even. There is a WBC title fight already, I think, with Espinosa. Charlie Suarez might have a longer reach than Emmanuel 7'4" wingspan compared to Navarrete. Luis Castillo by decision. Andrew Ward has 7 rounds. He fight whichever division. 7 p.m. Yes, so in English, Sonny Barbaro Reyes says you should go closer. And because the opponent is he punches he has volume punches. Yes, and the opponent is strong. Tickets, there's no tickets, just go there for free. Okay. All right. Any other question, guys? Thank you so much for joining me here on our English episode. Every morning I'm gonna be doing an English episode of my live podcast. But all right, guys. So any other comments? If there's none, I would like to thank you again for supporting me. If you just got the live, please share, like, and comment. If anyone from Mexico watching this, thank you and good luck. May the best fighter win. Obviously, we have our own biases on this one, but the real boxing fans and educated boxing fans knows that it's part of boxing. But at the end of the day, whoever wins wins. And but I got my guy, Melvin Gringo. Hey, there you go. Buenos dias. Good morning. Yeah. Thank you so much. I'll see you later, 7 p.m. at the Mandaluyong City Colleges. 1 p.m. start of the undercard. Thank you, guys. Good morning.